Hi guys, well today I'm going to be talking about the 1989 Batman movie. I actually did see this movie a few times like years ago. I think the last time I saw it was like 7 or 8 years ago. And I've stated repeatedly on this channel I'm a big fan of the Nolan Batman movies and that I didn't have the biggest amount of interest of watching the other movies, but lately I've been getting more and more of a desire to at least see this movie, so I viewed it a couple weeks ago, and I was actually surprised at how much I liked it. Was the right angle for this thing? There we go. Okay, so a lot of what I'm going to say is definitely repeats of a bunch of stuff that many people have mentioned out there, but hopefully I can give you enough new thoughts to keep you entertained, okay? So, first of all, I gotta address this. A lot of people say this is a serious Batman movie. Well, I think as most of us have probably noticed over the years, if we grew up with this, I didn't really grow up with it, but I'm addressing you guys anyway, that although this is definitely more serious than Adam West Batman, there are still quite a lot of campy humor bits in here. You know, Jack Nicholson's acting, and then the whole business with the bat. Yeah, that was pathetic, but, it's stuff like that, you know? And then, since we're bringing up the topic of Jack Nicholson, I gotta admit, he's actually the person that pretty much brings the show to this movie, because even though this movie is called Batman, it's not really that much about Batman, to be honest. I honestly think it's more about all the characters around Batman, and Batman just happens to play a significant role in here. I think this is more of Jack Nicholson trying to bring a whole new wave of crime to the city, and Batman intervenes, even though there is the Vicky Vale storyline. Now, that's not to say that I don't completely think that Batman is useless in this movie. Far from it. What we get from him is fairly interesting, because the way Bruce Wayne is characterized in here, I don't really like that. Now, hear me out on this, okay? Now, I know that the billionaire socially awkward personality, you know, is thrown in there, both in this adaptation and other adaptations, to throw people off, you know, make people think that he's not the Batman. But the problem is, I don't think this Bruce Wayne is acting the socially awkward personality. I think he really is socially awkward, and that is not something that I really like, because you know how he's constantly trying to tell Vicky Vale that he's Batman, you know? All the other incarnations of Bruce Wayne, not just the Nolan universe of Batman, the animated universe, the Adam West Batman, and then I thought there was one more. Well, you guys get the idea, you know, they would have a much easier time expressing that thing, so just him not being able to do that, that kind of bothered me, because I just don't think Bruce Wayne should be socially awkward. That should be Peter Parker, at least at first. If he gradually loses that over the course of the movie, it's not a big deal. But Bruce Wayne, you know. But as Batman, I feel like Keaton does do well. He does look kind of menacing in that suit, and I gotta admit, the one-liners his character did were pretty good, because Batman, I think, is the DC one-liner kind of guy, you know, even though if I was to compare what character from Marvel he's most like, I think I'd throw Daredevil in that role. That's disputable, okay? Okay, so I think that pretty much wraps up Michael Keaton, and then how do I feel about all the other characters in this movie? I got good reactions from all of them, even though like Commissioner Gordon is kind of incompetent in here. I felt like he did okay, but like yeah, he isn't really that great of like a commissioner leader of the police and such like that. Now, I'm not so pissed that, you know, he's against Batman. I just feel like he should be good at his job, because like the animated universe in that area, I don't think he really works with Batman for the vast majority of the series, based on what little I remember of the show, but he carried an air that he is very good at his job. Here, he sucks at his job, even though Lando, I can't remember his real name, doesn't really do the best job of stating that he's a great district attorney, although he does show far more concern than Commissioner Gordon. Yeah, pathetic, really. And, what else to mention? Oh, yeah. So how do I feel about Batman actually being willing to kill people in here? Well, I have read that various people, at least on here, seem to remember that Batman kills people in the early comics, and there's something I kind of need to point out about the villains in this movie. If you compare the villains in this movie to what I remember of the later movies in the Burton Schumacher universe along with the Nolan universe, the villains in this movie are kind of more like drones, with an unnatural devotion to their leader, because these villain sidekicks are far more willing, to put themselves at risk in this movie to protect their leader than other movies. Because, like, for instance, what's the best example? Oh, yeah, like the League of Shadows in the Nolan universe. Now, they're willing to help Ra's al Ghul out, but they do think for themselves, recognize fights that they can't win, try and fight to save themselves, that kind of thing. Here they're putting themselves at unnatural risk, because, like, I can't really see a League of Shadow, holding a gun or a sword blade to Gordon's throat, just to save the boss. Now, if they felt they could get away with it, they definitely would do it, but that's the only reason the guy was doing it at the beginning of the movie, to save the Joker. So, like, I'm not too opposed to him killing these villains, because they're just brainless drones, really, kind of like robots, from the animated series, even though, obviously, Batman won't kill in the animated series, given its intentions to go for younger audiences, despite being very serious. And, killing Joker at the end of the movie, well, given the fact that he has, killed his parents and would have gotten away, he didn't really have that much choice at the end. I mean, like, obviously the fact that Jack Nicholson killed his parents is a big reason to kill him, but, And how do I feel about the Joker killing his parents in here? Well, I don't really have that much of a reaction, honestly, because this movie doesn't really delve into Batman's origins that much, It just establishes the precinct because it was the first adaptation of Batman movie onto the screen, because all the Adam West Batman movie was just a feature-length episode, really. So I can't talk too much about that much. And do I think Batman dropped Jack Nicholson at the beginning of the movie into the vat of chemicals? I don't think so, because, like, if you watch that scene very closely, it's obvious that Batman is holding Jack Nicholson by the glove, but then you notice how Batman's shoulder kind of shakes and then seems to move up a little. That's not him letting go of Jack Nicholson, because if he let go, his shoulder wouldn't move up. That's Jack Nicholson's hand slipping out of his glove and then falling into the vat of chemicals. He just chooses to say that Batman dropped him in the vat of chemicals. I think there are people who would dispute that, but that's my honest reaction, okay? Pretty much everything else I would discuss about this movie is kind of nitpicks, minus, oh yeah, one more nitpick I do have to say, Vicky Vale. She was an interesting love interest, let me tell you, but you go to Gotham to learn more about the Batman, and then suddenly you just become obsessed with Bruce Wayne? Odd. So I think that's really all I could say about this movie. It's more of just discussing nitpicks about it and stuff like that, but yeah, I did enjoy bits of it for, like, what it was. How would I rate this movie? Honestly, I'm too conflicted to really give it a just rating on here, I think, because on the one hand, I could say that for what it is, it doesn't really have any problems and give it 4.5, but On the other hand, I could say that the campy humor kind of undermines the serious tone, which is what this movie was going for, and give it 3 stars, or I could just say that, this is a good movie, and I personally just have problems with it. But as I stated, I don't think the problems are too big, they're just kind of nitpicks, so I'm honestly not going to give it a rating. Alright? I might give it a rating when I review it on Amazon. Well, actually, I have to give it a rating if I review it on Amazon. We'll see. And will I watch more movies in the Burton Schumacher universe? I don't know. We just got to see where we go with that, because I remember watching Batman Returns when I was younger and feeling sick to my stomach for a few days when Penguin bites that guy's nose. Oh, brother. And I've seen the other two often enough that I'm pretty sure I can remember everything that happens, and we'll see. Later, guys.